Right. Have you ever seen a signature guitar and thought to yourself, what on earth were they thinking? Today, we're diving into the models the internet properly loves to hate. The guitars promising magic, but often just delivering a hefty price tag and a whole lot of meh. I've trawled all the forums for the biggest offenders, you know, the ones that get people properly wound up. Now remember, this is all a bit of Bant's mind, so which signature guitars really get your goat? Let me know down in the comment section. First one on the chopping block. Number 1, the Tom Delange signature Fender Stratocaster models. Tom Delange, from pop punk royalty to ufologist in chief. You can't knock the bloke's ambition. But his signature guitars, the internet seems to think it's like buying a festival shirt for 50 quid, and then after one wash, it shrinks all the way down to a little belly top. The main grumble? Often overpriced for what's under the hood. We're talking one pickup, one knob a lot of the time. Some would call it minimalist. Others, usually the ones with strong opinions and a dial-up connection, they call it taking the mick. And they say you're mostly paying for the name. I don't really know what they're all going on about. I really like them. If you've owned one, was it all killer, no filler? Or a bit of an empty promise? Let me know what you reckon in the comments. Number 2, the Mick Thompson BC Rich Signature Warlock, the hate model. Whoa, steady on. Mick Thompson, the angry one from Slipknot. My hero? His BC Rich Warlock model though? It's about as subtle as a sledgehammer. It looks like it's designed to summon demons and shred your face off all at the same time. A 14-year-old guitarist's wet dream. But some folks online, even die-hard metalheads, they reckon the super aggressive look and the whole hate thing is a bit, much. Like wearing your corpse paint to go and do your Friday big shop. They say it looks the business, but the playability, well, is lacking. The quality was never truly reliable, which I guess is why he doesn't play them anymore. Is it a weapon of sonic destruction, or just a bit too spiky for its own good? I mean, let's be honest, I am that 14-year-old guitarist and it is my wet dream. But if you've ever wrangled one of these beasts, did it feel powerful, or were you just terrified of smashing up your mum's vase? Number 3, the Kirk Hammet LTD KH202. Kirk Hammet, Metallica, wah solos for days. You'd expect his signature gear to be top tier, right? Well, the LTD KH202 seems to get a fair bit of stick online. It's from a long line of those O2 models, the 202, the 502, the 602, and this one is right at the bottom of the pile. The consensus online is it's an overpriced beginner guitar with a famous name slapped on. The word on the streets is, feels a bit on the cheap side. And let's be honest, the price tag feels a bit punchy for what you actually end up getting, especially considering it's a spot in that lineup. I guess you'd expect more for your money. Many reckon all the hardware needs replacing just to make it properly playable. You're basically forking out for the Hammet Association, not necessarily for the mind-blowing quality straight out of the box. Is this a fair cop? Or a decent gateway guitar if you're prepared to mod the hell out of it? I agree with these opinions. The 202s are quite cheap feeling and they don't play super great. I've got a 502 and it feels great, super heavy though. But for £500, £600 or whatever they are, the 202 is definitely punching above its price tag. If you've had one, did it unleash your inner guitar hero? Or did it leave you feeling a bit shortchanged? And did you then have to take it to a guitar tech to basically make it playable? Let me know in the comments. Number 4, the James Hetfield ESP Truckster model. Now I don't agree with any of this because he's my favourite person in the entire world, but this is all for science, so I'm going to tell you the information regardless. We're still in the Metallica camp. We've got James Hetfield and his ESP Truckster models. This is the one that's famous for the pre-battered, I've toured the world 10 times over look. You know, like it's fallen off the back of the van a few times and it's been held together with gaffer tape and hope. But here's the thing that gets people chin stroking. I mean, the relic job is straight out of the factory. It's not something you pay extra for, it's just part of the production. And for me, it kind of just does look like an ESP EC1000 with a custom paint job. Sorry, James. Especially when you compare it to something like his Iron Cross model, which actually feels unique to James and his playing style. Now with the Truckster, some players aren't into paying top whack for that pre-distressed vibe because they feel it's a bit inauthentic. I guess it's like buying pre-ripped jeans for like 100 quid. So what's the verdict? Is the pre-Relict vibe genuinely cool? Or is it a bit of a pose when it doesn't have that unique underlying feel or that custom paint job? Tell me your thoughts, I'm all ears. Number 5. The Silvertone Paul Stanley models. Kiss! Paul Stanley, the star child himself. Pure rock and roll theatre. But his forays into the signature guitar world was Silvertone. Bloody hell. And I mean, the internet can be an absolutely brutal place, and these models often get described in less than glowing terms. The general vibe online is that they're, shall we say, built for looks rather than longevity or playability. Critics often suggest they're relying heavily on that iconic name and star-spangled persona, without actually delivering the kind of quality you'd want from something a legend puts his name to. Were these God of Thunder good, or more of a sonic boom in the wrong way? If you ever rocked one of these, I genuinely want to hear your war stories in the comments. For science, obviously. Number 6. The Pete Wentz Squire Bass. Swinging over to the low-end theory for a sec, Pete Wentz, Fallout Boy, big name, big bassist for his generation. His Squire signature model though, some 4-string aficionados online, they seem, well, a bit puzzled by it. They say it doesn't really bring much new to the table compared to a standard Squire. A bit basic is the cry, lacking those unique touches that make a signature model feel, well, signature. Is it just a different lick of paint and an autograph on an otherwise run-of-the-mill bass guitar? Number 7. The Dimebag Daryl Dean models. Look, if you don't know by now, Dimebag Daryl is my favourite guitarist of all time. Absolute legend, changed the game. And those Dean guitars, absolutely iconic. But even as a massive fan, I have to say that some of the signature models, especially some of the ones that came out after his tragic passing, they raise a bit of an eyebrow. I'm just not into what feels like an obvious cash grab, like, releasing a whole line of guitars plastered with Pantera album artwork. It feels a bit off. I know ESP did it with Metallica, and they released the guitars with their album artwork on it, but that felt more tastefully done, more like a collector's piece. With some of the Dimebag ones, it just feels a bit much.
It's too much!
And beyond the artwork, there have been those grumbles online about high prices and inconsistent quality control. It's a fine line though, innit? Honouring a hero versus something that feels like it's just milking a legacy. But let me know, are these models a fitting tribute, or do some of these concerns resonate with you as well? Right, brace yourselves for this one because it's a proper does not compute moment. Number 8. The Gibson Jimi Hendrix Stratocaster. Gibson making a Stratocaster for Jimi Hendrix. You having a laugh? What? Ah! Yeah, you heard that right. Gibson, the house of Les Paul and the SG and the Explorer, decided to make a Strat-style guitar. The axe basically synonymous with Fender for Jimi Hendrix, the man who was the Strat sound for so many people. The internet predictably went into meltdown. Baffling, a bit weird, why though, were common refrains. Many saw it as a deeply confusing move, possibly an attempt to snag a piece of the Hendrix pie, however, very awkwardly. From my research, apparently it was just a prototype that never got released, and I'm not surprised, because if they released that, the whole world would have just imploded on itself. It's just not meant to happen. Now, is this the ultimate example of a brand having an identity crisis? Or is it just an act of misunderstood genius? Have any of you actually played one? Probably not, because if it's a prototype, it probably never ever saw the light of day. But if you have, let me know, because I'm really intrigued. If you know anything about it, let us know in the comments down below. Whew! Right, that's the list. I'm hungry and I need a drink. But remember, look, the point of this list isn't to slag off anyone's favourite artist or their favourite guitar. It's about the chat, the community, the absolute passion, and sometimes, frustration that we all feel for the tools of our trade, or just our noisy hobby. And let's be fair, sometimes the drama around the guitar gear is a bit more entertaining than a dodgy support band. So now it's over to you lot. What did I miss? Which signature model makes you want to write a strongly worded email? Or which one on this list do you think gets an unfairly bad rap, and you would absolutely champion it to the end? Are there any that are so bonkers they're actually brilliant? I mean, the Jimi Hendrix Gibson Strat, that was a bit weird, wasn't it? Chuck all your thoughts, your rants, your wisdom down in the comments. Don't hold back, let's get a proper discussion going, because that's what this is all about, isn't it? So cheers for sticking around. Don't forget to do all the YouTube things, so that way you don't miss out on the next bit of nonsense I come up with. Stay sound, keep those amps loud, and I'll catch you guys in the comments. See you later.